Dear student, today we will study nervous system. So let's see part 1 first. We'll be talking about neurons in part 1 and overall what is nervous system. Now nervous system consists of brain, spinal cord and network of nerves. Basically all these consist of nerve cells which are called neuron, and neuron is the structural and functional unit of nervous system. The nervous system coordinate various activities by conducting message to different parts of body. It receives the message about external environment, interpret and analyze the message information and send this message back to the effector for the action. So this is what is the main functions of nervous system. If you look at the nervous system, we study it in various parts like central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, central nervous system, where we study the brain and spinal cord, peripheral nervous system where we study various nerves in different form like voluntary peripheral nervous system, which is also known as somatic neural system, and involuntary or autonomous nervous system, which comprises parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system and various nerves associated with them, and here the cranial and spinal nerves which are there. Now what all cells are present in the nervous system? Neurons are the main cells. Beside neurons there are non-neural cells like neuroglia cells and ependymal cells. So we'll be talking about them. Now let's briefly discuss first what is neuron, and then we'll be studying detail about the neuron. Neuron is the electrical excitable cell that communicate with the other cell via specialized connections called synapse. Important characters are excitability and conductivity. Excitability means when they receive the stimulus they generate electrical impulse. Conductivity means they have tendency to transmit electrical impulse from the point of origin along the membrane to the other neuron in the form of action potential. So beside this they also store information and maintain homeostasis. What is homeostasis? It refers to the body ability to maintain the stable internal environment, regulating hormone. Stable environment means our body temperature remain constant, the hormone cycles are automatically regulated, the water balance is maintained, the osmotic pressure is maintained. So maintaining homeostasis require the body continuously monitor its internal condition. So this whole system is controlled by the networking of neurons. Now let's study first the non-neural cells. They are also called as supporting cells, and they are 5 times more than neuron. So they are neuroglia cells, neurosecretory cells and ependymal cells. Neuroglia cells such as oligodendroid cells which forms the myelin sheath such as Schwann cells. Microglia cells, they are phagocytic, engulfs the microbes. Astrocytes, they regulate the external environment of the neuron. So they are all supporting the function of neuron. Neurosecretory cells are present in the hypothalamic cells, and they release the hormone, or you can say they secrete the hormone. Ependymal cells are actually neuroepithelial cells that lines the ventricles. Ventricles are actually here the cavities. Okay, you should not confuse it with the ventricles present in the circulatory system. And central canal of spinal cord. So they are lining up these cavities. Now let's talk about the structure of neurons. So if you see the structure of neuron, it is divided into 2 parts: the axon, unbranched part, which is branched at the terminal, and the cell body, which is branched part. Okay, so neural membrane is there, which is known as neurilemma. Then dendrites, which are the branching of cytone, which are present, and then in the center you will find the nucleus along with the other cell organelles like Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, and then you can see nasal granules are present, which are actually formed by the association of rough endoplasmic reticulum with ribosome. So their main function is the protein synthesis And then neural fibrils are there, such as microfilament, microtubules, which are present in the neurofibril in the axon part. And there is axon hillock, which is a conical or triangular structure from where the axon arises. Now at the end, so I was talking about the cell body and axon, and the ending of the axon, it ends into the branching, and at each branching end into the bulb-like structure called synaptic knob. Then here you will see at the end and at the end of one neuron, at the starting of one another neuron, there is a space called synaptic cleft. Okay, now the neuron which is which end over here is called presynaptic neuron, and the neuron which is start is called postsynaptic neuron. Now you'll also find that neuron is surrounded by myelin sheath. Now myelin sheath is the fatty tissue formed by Schwann cell or oligodendrocytes. The myelin sheath is formed around axon by concentric wrapping of Schwann cell. So you can just see, this is the wrapping. Okay, we do the wrapping like this. So this is how they are formed. So one here, one another one here. So this represents the wrapping structure. Okay, this provide insulation so electric impulse transmit quickly. Now you can see wherever this myelin sheath is present, there is no transmission of, because since it is insulating, no electrical charge can travel here. But wherever there is a space between two myelin sheath, which is called nodes of Ranvier, over there the charges are present. So fast conduction, rapid conduction of message occurs. We will see how it occurs. Now neuron, on the basis of function, there are three different types: sensory, motor and interneuron. Sensory neuron are called effector neuron, and they conduct the message from sensory receptor to CNS. Motor neurons are called effector neurons, and they conduct the message from CNS to effector organ such as muscle. Interneuron, they are present in CNS and interpret input in various parts of nervous system. Now on the basis of processes, the neurons are known as apolar, unipolar, pseudopolar, bipolar and multipolar. Apolar, they have no process, means no axon, no dendrites. Unipolar with one process. Pseudopolar with one process but look like two because it bifurcate later on. Bipolar with two processes, and multipolar with many processes. Now what is nerve fiber? It is the axon of neuron. Nerve means bundle of many nerve fiber. Okay, so it represents the nerves. So whenever these terms come, you should be clear what we are talking about when we are talking about the nerves. Now let's talk about the functions of neurons. So main three functions are there: generation, second conduction, third transmission of nerve impulse. So we'll be talking about them in the detail. Now nerve cell communicate with each other and transmit the message, that is signal, in the form of electrical signal. This electrical signal is called nerve impulse or action potential. The neural membrane is selectively permeable to different membrane, and this create potential difference across the membrane. Now you should know what is sodium potassium pump, because this is one of the important part wherever the ionic concentration is maintained across the membrane. This is transmembrane protein. So this is also known as sodium potassium gate or sodium potassium channel. This is transmembrane protein that moves. Pump is the transmembrane, you can say, pump. And what they do, they transfer the sodium and potassium ion across the concentration gradient, and this is present in the bilipid membrane of the nerve cell. This has the enzyme action of ATPase. So ATPase, what it do, it break down the ATP into ADP, and because since the system is operated against the concentration gradient, so energy is required to move these sodium and potassium ions in and out. So usually there is a high level of sodium which is maintained outside, and low level of potassium which is maintained inside. So outside is more positive as compared to inside. And the sodium potassium pump help to stabilize membrane potential and osmotic equilibrium. Okay, so once the pump is operated, once the sodium potassium pump is operated, per consumption of ATP molecule, 3 sodium are moved out and 2 potassium are moved in. Okay. Now generation of nerve impulse. The information from outside the body reaches to our brain by sensory organs. The sensory nerves carry the message from the sense organ to the brain for the further processing of message. Any stimulus such as electrical, chemical, thermal, mechanical of adequate strength will be used to stimulate the sensory nerves. So we can receive the message or stimulus in any form, maybe chemical, maybe thermal, mechanical. This message is actually received by our sense organ, and sense organ through the sensory nerves direct this message to central nervous system. This message will be transmitted through the nerves from one neuron to another, and in the central nervous system what happens, this message goes to the appropriate area for the analysis and interpretation, and the nerve cell, they conduct the message from one neuron to another. So here comes the part of conduction. So generation of nerve impulse. Now first we need to understand what is the resting membrane. Resting means when the neural membrane has not pick up or received any stimulus. So first it was at rest. Once it will receive the stimulus, then there are certain changes that will occur in the membrane, and it will transmit those charges to the adjacent area. Okay, so let's understand what is at the rest. At rest, membrane of neuron is polarized. So at rest also it is in the polarized state because of the differential distribution of charge, or you can say sodium and potassium ion. As the neural membrane is more permeable to potassium and impermeable to sodium at rest, so sodium ions are located outside and potassium are located inside. The cytoplasm of the cell contain chloride and amino acid. So overall the charges are stabilized because of the presence of the other ions also, but main role is of sodium and potassium. Overall the outside is more positive as compared to inside. Now what will happen, this is at the resting stage. Now what will happen once it receives the stimulus? So conduction will start. Whenever the stimulus is received, the reversal of potential difference occur. This is called depolarization. Now what, the message is conducted. Now first it is generated, now it is conducted. Now inside become positive as compared to outside. This is possible due to movement of sodium in and potassium out via sodium. Now they are moving against the concentration gradient. So sodium, so here the sodium potassium pump is operated and movement of charges occur and depolarization occur. The permeability of membrane is altered due to depolarization, and sodium moves in and potassium moves out. On receiving the stimulus, the neuron muscle cell undergo rapid and transitory change in the membrane potential. This is called action potential. Now if you compare the potential difference of this place along with the adjoining area, there is difference in the potential. See, this was the resting, potassium in and sodium were out, and the membrane was stabilized in the resting potential. Now whenever it receives the stimulus, the changes occur. This is called depolarization. Okay, now you'll find the difference in the charges, but the polarity changes across the membrane. This is called action potential, and slowly this get conducted throughout the membrane. Okay, Now what will happen to the area of depolarization after some time? The action potential keep traveling across the length of membrane while the area from which it is left will be back to the original state, that is resting stage. So again resting stage will come, again it will come back to the same, outside positive, inside negative. This is called repolarization. Now refractory period is something we have already discussed. Again I'll discuss here. The refractory period is the repolarization takes place after some time. During this time the nerve impulse cannot be stimulated again. This is called refractory period. Now what is saltatory conduction? In non-myelinated nerve fiber, means where myelin sheath is not present, the conduction occur across the length of axon, but in myelinated it occurs at the nodes of Ranvier, and the action potential jump from one to next node of Ranvier. The mode of conduction of nerve impulse in jumping manner from one node is called saltatory conduction of nerve impulse. This is 50 times faster than non-myelinated nerve fiber. Now we'll be talking about the transmission of nerve impulse. Conduction of nerve impulse from one neuron to another across the synapse. This is called transmission of nerve impulse. Now we have talked about the conduction. Now we will talk about the transmission which occurs from one neuron to another. So I've already talked about what is presynaptic neuron, which is known as transmitting neuron, and postsynaptic neuron, which is called receiving neuron. So here you can see presynaptic neuron and postsynaptic neuron. Synaptic lift is there, charges or the message is conducted, and it finally reaches to synaptic knob. Synaptic knob is filled with the neurotransmitter. Let's see what happens here. The nerve impulse reaches synaptic vesicle. The presynaptic membrane depolarizes. This is presynaptic membrane, and it depolarizes. As a result, the membrane become permeable to. So when depolarization occur, this become now permeable for calcium. So calcium from the cleft move inside the synaptic knob, and calcium, you know that calcium is the signaling molecule. Calcium causes release of neurotransmitter by fusing vesicles of neurotransmitter with the synaptic knob. So here it fuses. Now what are neurotransmitter? They are the chemicals secreted by presynaptic neurons at the junction of two neurons, such as acetylcholine, epinephrine, dopamine, gamma-aminobutyric acid. And the neurotransmitter diffuses and bind to a specific receptor on postsynaptic membrane of another neuron. It generates new action potential by way of depolarization, and the nerve impulse always transmit from the axon to one neuron to the cell body of another. So this is how the transmission occurs. So here we complete nervous system part 1. Thank you.